Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Welcome to the podcast, concerts that made us, interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down. The greatest live shows and that cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concertsthatmadeus.com.
Cody Howell, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
It's great to have you now. I'm looking forward to diving into your music over the next bit. Now, you recently released the EP Hangups, Heartache and Hangovers. Take us a bit deeper into it. What's the inspiration behind it?
So that was a song that came out of three of us writers, me, Jason Johnson, and Jory Preston. Jory had started this song like probably maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And then Jason had kind of written a little bit with him about 5 years later. And then I ended up hearing it. I'm like, okay, as long as I can craft this a little differently. So, I mean, Jason's been a bronc rider. Me and Jory are both Bull Road. We've all been through a bunch of the same type of stuff coming from the Midwest, Texas area. So we just kind of collaborated all of our ideas in there. You get it because a lot of times when you're just done, you don't want to go anymore. It's like, but you're still holding on for some reason. We just decided, okay, well, let's put in hangups for just being on that, because it's called a hang up. If you get hung up on a buck or bull or whatnot, a bronc or bull, and then your heartaches, because they keep you going a lot of times. And then, hangovers just means your good nights and hangovers afterwards.
Yeah.
But
I get you.
it was a fun ride. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any challenges or memorable moments during recording or production?
It was getting, I believe Jason ended up coming. We couldn't get Jory down there to come in production. It went pretty smooth, the recording process of it. We wanted it to be more of a little more traditional, not too Americana or not too red dirty, and not too, I guess, Texas or pop country. So I think we got some of that in there, enough of it. I think Kent Wells, my producer, he did a pretty well job at getting it to sound the kind of we wanted. And then that B minor gives it a little, almost a little touch of like a R&B or blues, rhythm and blues sound. I don't know if you felt that at all in the
You
on
could sense
the
it.
verse. You get a little bit of that vibe, but I think we pulled it off.
Yeah, you definitely did. You also have an album coming out later this year. Can you tell us, or what can you tell us about it at this stage?
Yeah, so we just got everything I've got sorry. I got my side of stuff or whatever put to distro. We're about to send the rest. We're already getting everything they need to distribution. There's 3 more songs on it. So it's a short album. There's a 7-song album. There's a Saddle Up will be on there. Hadley will be on there, and a song called Half a Heart will be on there. So I can't wait for all those. Half a Heart was the last one to get done, and it's I think it's a cool song. I really like it.
Right. Here's an interesting one now. What aspects of the album do you think will appeal to listeners?
I think a lot of people that get left out of some songs are, like fellas that go and they sit at the edge of the lake or something by themselves, just going over their thoughts and memories, and they just want to be alone for a minute. And so I think there's like three of the songs, including Hangups, Saddle Up, and Half a Heart. I think those 3 songs are some that they can put on repeat because that's the I'm sitting there trying to write to because I think they get overlooked. I try to write to some of the people that get kind of overlooked in country music. Another one was like Midwestern Pearl. So like that one's a good one, I think. With because you got like Southern Bells, Georgia Peaches, and Yellow Rose of Texas. You got names for other girls, but the Midwest,
Hmm.
it gets overlooked or got overlooked on having a term for the girls there. So I come up with Midwestern Pearl and made that song. So I think there's little nuggets of different things that will appeal to the listeners that don't always get a song exactly for them.
Right, right. I like it. I like it. Generally when it comes to making music, writing songs, what's your approach to the actual songwriting?
Okay, sometimes it comes with an idea, just like a line or something in my head. Um, Starting wise, anyways. Or sometimes it'll start from a like just like a little guitar lick that I'm playing with. And then I'll figure out what kind of goes with it or what to write in it. And then as the song goes, it's kind of all different ways. Because sometimes I'll end up writing most of it myself, then getting a co-writer to look over it and then change things. Sometimes somebody already wants to co-write, so I bring the idea just kind of at the beginning to writing session. Some of them I just decide to write myself. And it always it depends because you'll write. I'll sometimes write most of the song and then take a step back and then be like, okay, what is it that I'm actually trying to say here, or what is it that I actually want the listener to get? And so then sometimes I change up the whole, a lot of the whole concept of the song. But it goes in a lot of different paths. Whenever after the initial kind of start of it, I think, but you just want to do a lot of refinement. I think the refinement is the and you'll put a blanket line in there, just like a kind of a goofy line or something, but keep going so you get the rest of the song written, and then you go back and refine that line. Go back and refine that line. Don't get people get a lot of times stuck on one line, and then they don't finish the song, and so I'm like, no, I don't like to do that. I just like to keep if my brain's flowing, then let it flow.
Yeah, I get you. What do you like then when you've put a song out, it's completed, it's finished? Do you ever revisit it in your head and be like, oh, I should have done this? Or is it like chapters closed?
No, I do that a bunch, but I try to do the second. I try to say I would because I'll revisit and be like, oh man, I should have done this slightly different. I should have done this slightly different. I should, but then I try to remember to say, no, okay, Cody, get over it. It's already done. It's already out there. Uh, that's it.
Yeah.
Because then there's sometimes I'm like, oh wait, that came out perfect. Or one part that I was worried about, I'm like, oh man, okay, that came out perfect. So there's both sides of the whole thing that end up flowing through my head. But I try to do the latter if I get to overthinking it and just say, nope, stop it. You already got that out there. Next project.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that I think is really, really cool is I'd say you probably know what I'm going to say now. You were backing vocals on Dolly Parton's rock album. How did you land that gig?
So my producer Kent Wells, we had started he was producing Dolly's Rockstar album. The day before, or like 2 days before, we were in there recording background vocals for that song I got Anyway You Go, where the crowd kind of shouts in the middle. So it was like 2 days later, and his guy hits me up and says, "Hey, do you mind getting back in here and doing backing vocals for some stuff we got on Dolly's, but we got to keep a hush hush." So I don't know if it was just that we did one a couple days before, and so I was still in his mind, or if he would have hit me up anyways. I'm not sure, but it kind of just came from me having the same producer that Dolly was using for that album, and it was awesome. It's such a cool thing to be a part of, and they've used it for they've used the World on Fire has been on the ACNs where I got a backing vocal track on that, and then they've used it on the middle of the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. So I was like, that's cool too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Did you get to meet her? You probably didn't even get to see her, did you?
Not in the studio, but at the listening party. Then we got to
Ah,
meet her, do a little picture, get a hug, say what's up for a second, and then we went and listened to the whole album. It was
yeah.
a good time.
Oh man, oh man. A legend
Yeah,
like Dolly, if that was me, I'd be like, you know what? It doesn't get any better. I can retire now. I can't top that.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's it's like you do one thing cool, and then you're like, okay, then you get a high from it. So you just try to use that to propel and keep momentum going into whatever the next thing might be, because you never know.
True, true, yeah,
So,
yeah. Now, the
so,
podcast is called Concerts That Made Us, so I have to ask you some concert-related questions if you don't mind. First
okay.
off, we'll ease into it. As a concert goer, what concerts would you say have made you?
I like there's a Randy Rogers band concert that I went to, um, that was awesome. I just, I lost my mind in it. So and that was at the uh shoot, I can't even remember what it's called. And then Zane Williams, The Wilder Blue. It was awesome seeing him. He's one of my like top people to play. He's a big inspiration in my writing and my songs. So he plays with Wilder Blue. They're opening for Luke Combs this year. Um, I have to say those two, and then early on in my life, when I got to see a Dirk Bentley concert in Virginia, and that was cool. That was like just the banjo coming through so crystal clear. That was awesome.
Oh man. Have you ever attended a concert that, say, any of your fans would be surprised you were at?
For my wife. Ah,
Right.
but I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, because it was like pop music. Uh
Right.
it was oh man, I can't remember. It'll probably come to me later. Um, yes, but she wanted to go to it, and so I was like, okay, fine. And some of the songs I knew, a lot of them I didn't. And I was just like, okay. But I would probably go to a Taylor Swift concert. That'd be cool. Uh, I don't know if my fans would be surprised by that, but it just seems like I just want to see the atmosphere, you
Hmm.
know. And let's see. Um, I would probably yeah, I've been to a what's the guy that sings Ice Ice Baby? Ice Baby.
Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, Vanilla Ice. I've been to a Vanilla Ice concert
Oh
before.
man.
That's crazy.
Right, right.
I don't
What
know.
what
Would
is a Vanilla Ice concert like? I didn't even know those things happen anymore.
Dude, this has got to be probably 7 or 8 years ago. Um, it was over in was it in California or Virginia? It was in one of them. I'm gonna guess it was in California. It was like a big festival. There was a lot of other people singing. So, but he had a good crowd there. There was a few other spots where people were singing. Yeah, and it was just he's still jumping on the stage, and it just seemed like he's an older, younger version.
Yeah.
Like he was still trying to do his younger self, but much older version of him doing it. And everybody was into it, man. Everybody was into it. It was just
Yeah.
there was still some uh, everybody was
Sounds
up there. People was, yeah, you know,
sounds
it's
interesting. Sounds interesting, yeah. You know, growing up then, how do you think the local music scene where you live has impacted your sound? Or has it even?
so locally, there wasn't a lot of music in Kansas. Like, we didn't have like a lot of bands come through. Um, it was more like, so I got to listen to like real old country, like 30s country, and then, and then, uh, and then hymnals. So like church music, and we would have bands at the church sometimes. So like, fiddle, and so I started learning guitar and kind of learning those. So I learning some of those songs, like hymnal songs, and then playing in church. Uh, so I guess that if you want to call that like a local
Okay.
that influenced me. That got me started on the guitar, you
Right.
know.
I like it. I like it. And back to shows then. For any listeners who haven't been lucky enough to catch one of your shows, what are they like? Give us the full experience if you can.
Of one of my shows that I do.
Yeah.
Well, so right now there's different ones. So we got a full band show um, coming up this weekend, which should be good. It's only like a 30-minute show, but we just get in there and I lose. I go out of my head for a minute, like
Right.
I get fully into the song. And it might take me the first song to actually get in there,
Mm.
but I'll go fully in there and just let my body be used as a horn and just let it out. But so there's some of the full band shows, and then there's another one I have later today, but it's just me and guitar. So uh, that one's a little more uh, what do you call it? Broken down and stuff. So I'll do a little more talking in between then. On the band shows, I don't do as much talking unless I'm just kind of doing a little bit of yelling or something. But yeah, on the other ones with the guitars, I do a little, and it's just me with the guitar, and I got an hour or however long to uh, sing and whatnot. I'll do a little more talking and say a little more about the song or whatnot before or stuff like that. Because I think it's you just get more time with it.
Yeah. Yeah, true, true. And out of all the shows you've played over your career, is there one that sticks out as maybe the best or the highlight so far?
So far, the one I've enjoyed the most is over at Fox and Lock in Leapers Fork. And it was just an hour show, but everything was just perfect. Like everybody showed up on time. Our whole flow, our mojo was good. And then the place was sold out. It's cool. And um, yeah, I think that would be and I just love the place and the people there. So it was good. I really enjoyed that one.
Okay, okay. I normally flip that question around now and ask, is there one that you would consider the worst, and how did you overcome it?
That's good. Let me think about that. There have been a lot of worse shows.
Right.
Um, okay, I'll do this one. This is at a small bar. This is a long time ago, and there's a new guitar player that I got, and he had just got done doing a funk show the night
Right.
before. So he comes on stage, man, and he's still playing funk. I'm like, dude, this is not the way we practice. This is not how this. You make it on my song sound like I'm in a like. Ooh, you can tell me to sound. Look, you can tell me that. I'm like, gosh, dang it, dude, stop. And I like told him in the middle, man. I started getting. I mean, I didn't say it in the microphone, but I was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing over here? It's like you're making it sound funky. He's like, no, it sounds the same way, man. It sounds the same way I play it all the time. Like, it 100% does not. I tossed my phone over there and just click record and tossed it down. And then I showed him the next day. He was like, "Oh, whoops, my bad. I'm sorry." I'm like, dude, but I was starting to get a little hot in my head. I tried to make
Yeah.
it not known on stage, but then I just, you got to push through. You can't just sit there and you know, get mad or kick a guy off stage or, so you just say, okay, I guess this is just what we're doing now. You know, all these are going to be like that, but that's probably the worst one. But yeah, it is crazy once you're starting to play because then instead of getting your brain all the way into the lyrics of the song, now you're sitting here thinking about, okay, I got to switch up. I got to sit here and change on what he's doing because if he changes something up, then I have to change. And so now I'm sitting here playing all this, I got 20 different things going on in my brain instead of actually focusing on the song. So then I'm just singing the lyrics. I'm not actually driving them. But so
Yeah.
it's a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. When it comes to showtime, how do you psych yourself up? And then afterwards, how do you wind down?
Um, who? Okay. I'll normally drink a couple beers before to loosen myself up. Uh, and then I think I try not to think too much about it and get nervous. Uh, so I just drink a couple beers and just get up there. And like I said, normally I get myself psyched up or pumped up within the first song. So first song will go, and then once I get that first song done, then I'm there normally. So it's I because then I'm able to gauge everything, gauge the sound, and get all that done within about the first song. Then afterwards, normally I'll go down there and talk to people afterwards and everything. So I still stay pumped up for about an hour or so after the show, and then just talking to people and having different conversations, and then it just kind of then I just kind of get a little rested after that. So I guess that's a little transition between from the show and talking to people. Sometimes I was talking to people, then those conversations slowly slow down or switch, and you just kind of go with the motion of the.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Is there, speaking of talking to people, is there a fan encounter that maybe sticks with you to this day?
A couple. Actually, quite a few. There's been a couple times, and this wasn't even just playing after a show. This was playing in the back room of Kimbro's. And after I got done playing a song, I look up and I had got lost in the song. I was just sitting there playing it, getting it. And then after I get done, there's an old man crying, and he was like, "Man, I haven't felt that in a long time. I've been cooped up in the house." It was kind of right after COVID kind of started getting done, and he's passed on now. But it was he kept coming back, more and more times after that, because he said, I haven't felt like life was really anything much worth living in for anymore. And so he just that was just, I don't know, that kind of got me. I was like, okay, well, music does some cooler things than you ever know that it does to
Yeah.
I mean, it has for me. I've growing up and that stuff, and then listening to music. But that was one time I got to be the singer of.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really, as you said, it's really cool. It's really powerful. It really kind of, I'd imagine it makes all the bad stuff worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. No
You know?
joke. Yeah. Yeah. You just like, it gets to one person and then they tell you. And then it's like, oh man. Cause a lot of times people won't tell you,
Mm.
so then you just get lost in your own self. Like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Music, or should I shift gears or shit? Cause you doubt your brain so much. And then you also keep going. You just have confidence in what you're doing because you already thought about all the different ways. You're like, okay, I think this is the best idea. So let me do
Mm.
this. And then you're like, wait, was that the best idea? Or I'm overthinking it now. And so, but whenever you get a moment like that, you're like, okay, I did do what was the right idea then. So you're like,
Yeah,
all right, let's keep going.
exactly. Exactly. When you think of the future, then, how would you like to evolve as an artist over, say, the next 5 years? What would it look like?
Um, I want to get a band. I'm starting to play this weekend, this next weekend with a new band. So what I want to do is make sure we get a really tight band. Make every person solid. Um, so now I got a solid backing band that we can normally keep the same people and then substitute here and there if we need to. I want to make sure that's solid. I want to make sure we got some other stuff we're working on music wise. So I guess if it's the next 5 years, I want to have at least a couple more albums out that are stronger songs. So I want to get better at my songwriting too. Um, Whatever that is, that's a journey into the future it's unknown. Um, and then I want to get some bigger stage performances, or however you say that. Like I want to get some bigger shows, and I want to get a better show. So my stage performances I gotta start working on that too as well. And then I want to start doing touring, get more out there instead of staying too much bottled up in Nashville right now. And it's mainly I've been up here for college and then getting this last album done, but I want to be getting around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
it's kind of
sense.
where I'm
Makes sense.
trying to get to. Yeah.
Right, right. And Before we dive into the last couple of questions, then, the immediate future plans for that. What can you tell us? When will the album be out? Gigs, music?
Okay, so I'm getting better at keeping my tours schedule updated. It's on my website,
Right.
CodyHowellCountry.com. And then so the last 3 songs on the album. Once we get the stuff with distribution done, we'll have a date. But we're looking at like probably 6 to 7, 8 weeks from now. So what do we got? We're coming on May, June. So May, June, yeah. So probably mid-June to late June is what I'm thinking. Unless they somehow get it out for faster. I'm not sure, but
Okay.
we'll see. So it
Yeah.
should be mid to late June, and I can't wait to have it out and have that project. Boom. So because I'm already starting to work up different stuff on the next project.
Already.
Yeah, it just keeps going. It keeps, but
Never stops.
yeah.
Right, right. Will it be the same sound as we're used to, the next project, do you think?
Yeah. I think it'll be and it hopefully just more refined. There's a few spots I think on the album where I think we do a pretty good job at kind of keeping the sound a lot the same, but I think we'll just refine it more, and then try to do a little more creative things with the melody, but but try to keep that same not not too poppy or not too bro country, I guess.
Yeah.
If any of that makes sense, I guess.
It does. It does. Right, we'll dive into the last couple. These are a couple of random fun music questions, but I'm intrigued to see your answers. First off, what are you currently obsessed with? Now, this one could be anything at all. It can be a movie, food, a book, a song.
Okay. Um, just what am I obsessed with?
Yeah.
Probably like this. Could I say? So I just moved down to Lyles, Tennessee, and there's like 800 miles of like off roads. It's like you go through the creeks, you'll go through mud, you'll go through um then you're driving on different types of rock stuff.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been obsessed with riding around out there. And then I'll give you one more,
Okay.
if that's okay. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, work away.
right. And then so there's these mushrooms called morel mushrooms that every season, and it's like a steak when you eat them, like they're so good. Um, so every year for about a month they grow, and so they're like better than portobellos and all those. They sell. They're expensive, but they grow naturally. So you just gotta walk around in the woods and try to find little patches of them. So I've been sitting there kind of going out there quite a few times and then watching online because there's these like morel mushroom hunter pages.
Yeah.
And so then they'll be like, oh wait, they just found some in these counties. They found some in these counties. So I've been watching all that, be like, okay, wait, they got some in our county. So they're still growing. Okay, I need to go back out there and look again. And but anyways, I haven't found too much this year, but I still, once you find, a good patch, it's just awesome. And then you get good eating after that. You'll get do like a fish fry and then fry the mushrooms as well. And then it's just so good. I don't know if you've ever had them or if they're
I haven't, but you know what? You're making me want to look them up now and see if you can get them over this side of the world.
Yeah,
They sound very nice. I like a good mushroom.
Yeah, MOREM, morel mushrooms. They're good. I think
Right.
that's the proper spelling on it. But yeah.
Right. The next one, it's a bit of an odd one. If you had to spend 24 hours locked in a room with any musician from history, who would it be?
Okay. Who this gonna be? Okay. Can I give 3?
Yeah.
Or do I gotta pick one?
No, you can do 3.
All right. Okay. Otis Redding, Ray Wiley Hubbard, or maybe Zane Williams. I think those were that 3 I would do.
Okay. Okay. What is it about those guys?
Out of those, if I got to pick, I would probably do Otis Redding because he's already passed away. So Still maybe get locked into a room with one of the other two fellas.
True.
You
True.
gotta, you know. But yeah,
Locked in a room or stuck in an elevator or something.
yeah, yeah. I like Otis Redding. He's got some good songs.
Yeah.
And he's just got a good style, you know.
Mm,
And you
definitely.
can tell he's
Definitely.
just singing from his. He's just singing from his.
From the
He's
heart.
in the song. You know,
Yeah.
he's in the
Yeah.
song. He's lost in the song. You know, so that's
Definitely.
cool.
Yeah. I like that. Some good picks. The final one. What is your go-to album? What's an album you always go back to?
Hmm. Bailey Ponder. Will be that. I'm gonna say the most probably go-to album is gonna be one of Dirk Bentley's album. Um, Up on a Ridge. I'm gonna give that one. I don't know if this is the truth though. This is what's on the top of my head right now. I don't know if
Right.
I go to album more, so I don't know if I'm telling you the truth right now. Uh, but I'm gonna say that because I can't think of any other to get.
Okay.
But Up on a Ridge is Dirk Bentley's more uh it's more of a man, I'm trying to remember this word. Man, I'm
Raw,
just
maybe.
uh it's more of the string type album
Uh,
than a produced album.
oh
What
yeah.
is it called? I don't know. Oh, whatever.
Strip
To
back.
move on, you know. Uh it's a cool album, Up on a Ridge, and he does more of the hill type sound. So he
Hmm.
gives more of a hill sound in there. It's pretty
Right.
cool. I
Right.
go to that.
I must look it up and see what it's like. So listen, Cody, it's been an absolute blast now. It's been great fun. Thanks a million.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, thanks for having me on. Appreciate you.
Welcome to the podcast, conscience that made us. Interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down. The greatest live shows and the cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concerts that made us.com.